Hey fam, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Listen, I want to talk about this particular topic, right? And that is pretty much, people comparing themselves to other people, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, I saw a young lady posted something talking about oh, let me get off of this social media before I drive myself crazy, looking at people living their life and things like that, right? And um, I don't personally know what she meant by that, but I know a lot of people feel that way, right? Initially, social media, from what I believe, social media was meant for was just for you to connect with friends and family, right? But now it's gone to a point where people are posting, to me, like their entire life and things like that, right? And some people do take that. I don't know. Some people look at that and they compare themselves to certain people, right? And their lifestyle, and they're wondering why they don't have the things that some people have, right? And for example, even yesterday we had our award ceremony, right? And agents were getting awards. They were showing numbers and productions and things like that, right? And I hear some people in the corner talking about oh yeah, they probably got some favors from somebody, or they transfer a book of business to them and things like that, right? A lot of envy and jealousy, right? Because you don't know anybody's story, right? I know I've dealt with a lot of people, being I've been told by a couple of people that they were told not to do business with me because they're only getting me rich and stuff like that, right? So you have a lot of people who are have a jealousy heart or envy heart, right? But I believe what a lot of people do not realize is the work that people have put in over the years, right? I've never understood why people compare themselves to other people. To me, it's crazy because you don't know their story, right? You don't know what they've been through. You don't know. I've heard quite a few agents who got into the industry, um, became homeless, lost their homes, their cars, and things like that, right? But just kept on pushing through, and then ultimately they became, wealthy. They're succeeding, but when people see them, they'll say, "Oh, they was lucky," or they'll say some crazy stuff like, like, "Oh, maybe the book of business was transferred to them," or some crazy stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even if we use my story for example, right? I mean, the first 2 years was dark moments. I'm telling. I'm not going to go into details as to what I mean, but it was rough. That anybody, and I'll probably write a book one of these days, right? But anybody in their right mind would have quit. Anybody in their right mind, right? How you doing? Anybody in their right mind, right, would have decided to go get a job, right, and go play it safe, right? Even having family members tell me, "Oh, you got kids to take care of. How can you make a living off of something like this?" And it hurts hearing it, right? But when you know what you want, right? When you know um, what you want out of life, right? When you know you want something different, right? You got two choices. Either you're gonna stick it through, or you're gonna do what everybody else wants you to do. Okay? These are choices that I believe most successful people make. Most wealthy people is like they gotta make a choice. Okay? Am I gonna run into safety? Am I gonna do what people want me to do, right? Or am I gonna sacrifice? And sometimes sacrificing can go into a deep dark hole. You understand? It depends on how bad you want this thing, right? So when I see people who are comparing themselves to other people, right? Um, it's not fair on both ends. It's not fair for the individual who's comparing themselves to that person, and it's not fair to the people who they're comparing themselves against because you don't know their story. You understand? Like you don't know what they've been through to get to where they are. Some of these people who are successful, most people, 99% of the people are unwilling to go through what they went through. So let me repeat that one more time. Some of these people who are successful, if you sit down with them and hear their story, the things that they went through, most people will be unwilling to go through it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. You understand? So that's why you have majority of people who are W-2s, employees. Because to be a 1099, to be self-employed, it is the toughest thing you will ever do. And it comes with massive risk. And most people are not willing to take that risk. Most people want a guarantee. You understand? A lot of what we do comes with a lot of hard work, but it involves massive amount of faith. Massive amount of faith. So when you're looking online and you are judging yourself or you are envious of another person and what they've done in life, to me, I don't know how to explain that or how I can help you understand. Because and again, we used yesterday, for example, you have brand new agents who walk up to me and say, hey, how do I do what you're doing, blah, 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 right? And I had to tell them that, listen, the numbers you're seeing up there is not overnight. You gotta crawl before you can walk. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people just want to come out the womb walking and running, right? So, and people are also unwilling to put in time, right? They want it right now, right? I know a lot of people who are insurance agents who quit the business, right? And talk bad about the business, but then they're envious when they see people on social media, these same people on social media posting their life and their lifestyle and the blessings that God has given them. They get mad about that, right? They feel a certain way about that, right? But they were unwilling to put in the time and the effort. They wanted the results right away, right? That's not fair on both ends. It's not fair to you who are doing the judging, and it's not fair to the person who you are judging, because again, it's a high likelihood that person sacrificed. That person probably almost lost it all. That person probably been through divorces, right? That person probably went through foreclosure, right? That person, I was watching last night on YouTube, right? A gentleman who life was great, right? He became an agent, he worked hard, he purchased a big home, purchased cars, to all his agents quitting, life happened, and they had to downsize, and his children wasn't able to adjust to it. They didn't understand why they had to leave the neighborhood they was living at with all their friends, and they had to downsize to a smaller house. The gentleman went to work one day. The repo person came to the house to repo the truck, and the son was calling him, at work saying, Dad, there's somebody banging in the door, and they're talking about, give us the keys to the truck, right? These are dark times, right? And the gentleman ended up bouncing back and being more wealthy than he was when he built what he built in the initial beginning, right? But most people would have ran off and went to go get a job to be safe. Okay, he refused to, right? He refused to stay the course and keep on pushing through. These are sacrifices that a lot of people don't know, but then you see them on the yacht, you see them with their Lambos, you see them in the nice restaurant, you see them on the trips, and you start to feel a certain way or this envious energy, you know, come out of you, right? Listen, if this is you and you're watching this, you need to understand that if you want to get to a point in life um, where you are like these individuals, right? Um, you want to give yourself. How you doing, man? Uh, yeah, I'm over here. Some hats here. I don't even think I need any more hats. I got way too much hats, um, but yeah, give yourself the opportunity or the chance, right? Um, to be able to get to where they are at. If you want this kind of level of success, there's no way around it. You are going to have to sacrifice. There's absolutely no way around it. If you are unwilling to do that, then you don't have the right to be envious of somebody else who is getting the fruit of their labor, right? It took some people 10, 15 plus years, 20 years to get to where they are at right now, right? A lot of people will be unwilling to go broke or to be broke for 10 years to ultimately get to where they have success. A lot of people don't want to do it because guess what? While they're going through that phase, they're seeing all their friends living well. They see the neighbors buying new cars. They see the neighbors and the family traveling, and they can't do that for their kids, right? Okay, these are things that they have to go through, and it hurts on the inside, but they stay the course, right? So I just want to share that real quickly, right? Because and again, this is for the person who needs to hear this, right? And you know, if you're feeling this way, and if you are actually an agent also, right, who's watching this, whether you're insurance or you're doing mortgage or you're doing real estate or whatever, right? Understand that those people in your office who are making the six figures, the multi six figures, right? Understand that didn't happen overnight. As a matter of fact, if you pull one of them aside and say, hey, how long did it take you to get to where you are at right now? Most of the time, especially if they're making multi six figures, most of the time it's over a decade. It's over a decade. Because what you don't understand is it takes people time to know you exist. In any business, it takes people time to know that you exist. It takes people time to trust you, to keep coming back and doing business with you, to sending their friends and family your way, right? It takes time for that. And you gotta be willing to give yourself the opportunity, right, to be able to do that. But again, most people cannot tough it out that long. Most people cannot get into business and things start falling apart and they stay strong. Most people cannot get into business and they're 3 months behind on the rent, 3 months behind on the mortgage, right? Car on the verge of being repossessed, right? Most people are not going to be able to handle that type of scenario, and it's not for everybody. So if you know that this is not something you are unwilling to do, then entrepreneurship might not be for you, right? And at the same time, if you know that it's not something that you're unwilling to do, but somebody else have done it, then you kind of technically don't have any rights to be envious of that person, because the pain that person had to go through, the dark moments, you were unwilling to go through it. You were enjoying life, you were partying, traveling, happy hour, having fun with friends and family. You were able to buy their children Christmas gifts. Man, let me tell you, My first couple of years in business was so tough. I couldn't afford to buy Christmas gifts. I couldn't afford to buy Christmas gifts. Right? Now, my kids are having the best time of their lives. Okay? So, again, I hope this message reached the right person in the world today. Right? I had to do this because, again, we had the award ceremony yesterday, and I'm hearing whispers. I'm hearing a bunch of envious voices, people who want to get an award, and I'm just like, wow, people are strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how hard it takes me every single day, every single week, every single month to be able to do what I do, and then to consistently do that day in and day out, month in and month out, year in and year out. That takes a lot of mental strength, right? So again, I don't think it's fair that you can sit there and just feel a certain way about a person's performance and a person's success. So listen, I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day today. I want to share that for somebody going into 2025, just to switch your mindset a little bit. Okay, switch the way you think about things, switch the way you feel about an individual's success, right? And what they've done for themselves, right? Because it does take work. It takes consistent work. It takes you losing friends and family. It sometimes depends on how bad you want that thing so bad. It might even take you losing a spouse, right? Very, very dark moments is what it takes before the light comes out. As an entrepreneur, right? It's gonna be dark before the light comes out, right? And even when the light comes out, there's still gonna be dark moments every once in a while. But the only difference is you're accustomed to it now. You've developed tough skin, so you know how to handle it now. That's the only difference. Okay? So it'll come and you just gliding right through it. Okay? So again, just want to share that with somebody today. Hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. Talk to you soon.